Hey folks, I want to go through a couple of games here that really enjoyed playing. These are with my son, who I'm just starting to teach chess. This is, I think, the third game that we've played. We played one over the board, which I gave him a lot of advice during the course of. We played one on the Chess Time app, and then we played this one. He's white. And like I said, this is literally his third game. I gave him no instruction during this game. You can see the graph down there at the bottom. So I was black, he was white. He played well, especially for such a young player. And I don't mean age, I mean experience. So let's have a look at what he did here. He hasn't studied any opening theory or anything like that. He's just concentrates on developing his pieces and trying to control the center of the board, that kind of thing, trying to watch out for undefended pieces. I came out with a Sicilian defense against him here, which is not easy to play with, against, especially if you've never really experienced it. So he's just making good opening moves, developing his pieces. I'm doing the same thing. Brings his queen out a little early. Looking to castle, I think. Does that, and he got himself into a fork there. He wasn't paying attention. Not the end of the world. He goes back and defends the other piece, so he's at least going to get the pawn back out of it without damaging his pawn structure. So I thought that was pretty good. He didn't panic. That was a good move that I did not see. I left my piece undefended for the most part, and he got it, and that was very well played. I thought I made a mistake, and he capitalized. Put him in check to try to get myself out of this. I'm forked, my queen and my rook there, and then I went up to offer to trade queens with him, which he accepted. Had a little exchange there, and he's up still in this game. That wasn't the best move in the world, but not the end of the world. I followed it up with not a very good move. He capitalized, and like I said, I wasn't making, not the best moves on purpose. I was just playing the game. He came down. The computer didn't really like that move, and it didn't really like my response to it either. So he's still up about, well, you can see there, 1.7 pawns. So he's doing pretty good for himself. Okay. Then the reason the computer didn't like my move was because it thought taking his pawn was a better option. The reason I liked it was because it was a discovered attack against his knight, and he overlooked that. He tried to attack, get that pawn, and lost that knight down there. Still not the end of the world. He did go down at that point. Then he offered to trade bishops, and that probably wasn't the best idea when he was already down in pieces, but I understood. I understood what he was thinking. He's thinking, let me get his threats off the board. Okay, and then he got himself into a pretty good position here. It wasn't the easiest thing in the world to work myself out of this. I had a couple of long thinks in here. Came down. He's playing well. And my king's in kind of a precarious spot out there in the middle. All my pieces are off to the side. He's completely controlling the middle. And you can see, I think, yeah, you can see our thinking time down here. That's a little graph. We're right there where the white dot is above the rewind button. And you can see how long he's thinking. And you can see how I took quite a bit of time right through there. That big dark valley. So it wasn't something I was just glossing over. I was in a tough spot here. Oops. We're still recording. Yeah. I don't know how to get that off my screen. There we go. Dang it. Let me move that. There we go. Come up and threaten him. He should have moved down to threaten my bishop. He was protected by that pawn. That would have been the better move. I came over to threaten him. He protects. And then here was his other mistake. He should have taken back. I had no protection against that rook, and I think he just panicked. I think he maybe thought it was a trap of some sort I was luring him into. We talked about it afterwards, and I said, whenever you lose a piece like that, get compensation for it if you can. Instead, he saved his rook, so now he left me with 2 rooks and a bishop when it could have been 1 and 1. Still in a bad spot, but he should have taken that. Comes over. I do that. I thought this was a good move. Threatens my bishop. And then I saw this danger, and afterwards he said as soon as he made the move he realized what he had done. Not this move. That was okay because he put me in check. I thought that was a good move, winning some material back. When I got myself out of check, he got a little greedy, and he went over there and got that other unprotected pawn, and that left him open for my rook sliding back there on the back rank and mating him. And he said as soon as he took that pawn, he realized it. I mean, the moment he took it, he was like, oh. So I thought he did very well in that game. I was concerned there for a while, obviously, in the middle part of that game, right through here. He had me in a tough spot. He did well until he lost that. The computer didn't like that move right there. When he retook my knight, it thought he should have saved his bishop instead. And I guess that turned the game around a little bit. But he still played well for quite a few more moves until we had that little series of mistakes there. And then he dropped his knight. But it was definitely a learning experience, and he played really, really well. This is the next game we played. We played it right after that. Let's go to the analysis board. Rewind it here for you. This one went on a little bit. And in this one, let me see. You can see there that I pretty much controlled most of the game. But I felt like he played a little better. He didn't make any blunders. He made one blunder. Made a few mistakes. I made a few mistakes. But his overall score was almost twice as good as it was in that other game. Now let's see how he played this one. In this one, he's black. He didn't panic. He was okay with that. We both just continued to develop. He eventually took. Left that pawn undefended. I try to teach him about that with immediate punishment, so to speak, so that he can understand the value of protecting his pieces. Drops down, puts me into check. That was one more undefended piece. This one, his king got stuck out there in the middle because of the queen exchange, so he was unable to castle. So that caused him a little concern. And here I think he made a mistake here. Let me see if I can remember. No. Here he should have taken that pawn. He did. And this was a good little series of moves right here. So I forked his bishop and his knight. He just took, but he left his rook undefended. And when I moved my knight and put him in that fork, he didn't see that discovered attack. He should have moved that rook or done something about that attack. He's still not in terrible position here. He's got, his queen side's damaged pretty bad, but he's still got 4 pieces. I've got 4 pieces. That would have been a really wonderful move if it hadn't have been for that bishop. We laughed about that. I said that was a great fork, except for that bishop. But yeah, I didn't even notice that, and it was just pretty much dumb luck that my bishop was on that diagonal, or he would have taken a little lead in that game right there, because I did not see that coming. He trades off, and now he's in a tough spot. He saw the danger. That was a really good spot by him. He saw the danger of my rook dropping down, putting him in check, and putting his rook in a bad spot. So he recognized that and moved his king, which I really commended him for seeing that. At that point, I told him you should have probably went the other direction. The computer thought so afterwards as well. Got his rook there. And I've just got too much going on. This is the position I said he should have come toward my rook in, actually. But he went back into hiding. And we talked about that pawn structure. He would have been better off, more than likely, leaving that intact. Instead, he let my pawn break free. Now he's just kind of getting what he can. And that was mate. But he did pretty good in that. He got in a really bad position that was very difficult to get out of. But he played better in this game overall than he did in the game before. I just happened not to make as many mistakes in this game, I think. But I thought that was wonderful. And since I've been back into chess in the last few months, this has been the most enjoyable thing of all, is teaching him chess and having him really grasp the concepts that I'm talking about and really enjoy playing. He's actually played strangers on Chess Time and Lichess, and it's just been a real thrill for me to be able to pass this game on to somebody. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to more games coming up soon.